We finally got the deck put together. We have exactly 40 cards in the main, obviously 15 side, 15 extra. So we're going to go ahead and go through this. So as you remember, for the main deck, we could only use one archetype, so Lyrilusc, right? And we could only use board breakers. So the deck is only going to consist of that, as well as the extra deck. We could only use 3 types of extra deck cards. So we had to use 3. So we ended up choosing XYZs, Fusion, and Link for this deck. And then the side deck is obviously only going to be either board breakers or like staples. Right, so we're going to have, we basically maxed out on the Lyrilusc monsters. So we're going to have 3 of the Celestine Wagtail right here. This is the one that when it's special summoned, it can add a Lyrilusc spell or trap. We're going to have 3 of the Cobalt Sparrow. This is the one when it's special summoned, I can add 1 level 1 winged beast monster from deck to hand. We're going to have 3 of the Turquoise Warbler. This one can special summon itself if I don't control any monsters, and then if it is special summoned, then it can special summon a Lyrilusc monster from my hand or graveyard. We have 3 of the Barrel Canary. This one can target a Lyrilusc in my graveyard, special summon both it and the card in the graveyard. So itself and the card in the graveyard. And then the final one is the Sapphire Swallow. Basically, this one, if I control a winged beast, I can special summon both it and 1 level 1 winged beast from my hand. So these are the, how many cards we have here? 15 monsters in the deck. Everything else, and I mean everything else, is going to be spell cards in the main deck. So these are the monsters that we're trying to get to, and I'll talk about all the cards about how our win con is going to be. Our other Lyrilusc cards are going to be the Lyrilusc Bird Call. So I consider this card at 3, but it's only a once per turn. So I want to draw it, but it's not like fully necessary. It helps me out. It can also be searched. It's only one of 2 of the searchers that we're playing in the main deck. So if we draw it, we can, if we don't draw it, we can search it. And our second option of a search card is going to be the Bird Strike. So basically what Bird Call does is you can take 1 Lyrilusc monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. Then you can special summon a Lyrilusc monster from your hand with a different name. And then what Bird Strike does is if you control a Lyrilusc monster, you only need to control 1. You can negate the effects of your opponent's monsters that they currently control. So it's basically Dark Ruler no more, and the only stipulation is that I have to control a Lyrilusc monster, which is the only monsters we're playing in the main deck. So this card can basically just shut off my entire opponent's board. And if I haven't told you guys yet, we are playing Board Breaker going second deck. So this is going, we're built fully to go second. We have some cards in our extra deck that are going to help us break boards, as well as in our main deck. And then our side deck, we have cards that can help us go second, as well as some cards that help us go first. Okay, so continuing on, these are more kind of like engine cards still. So these kind of are engine. Because this one can at least be searched, but it is kind of also a board breaker. Swallow's Nest is a tribute, a winged beast monster. 1 face-up winged beast monster, and then special summon a winged beast monster from your deck with the same level as the monster on the field. So it doesn't say it can't have the same name, but what is so good about this card is, let's say we do something like we summon out the Wagtail, we special summon this, or, really any of them. We special summon the Wagtail to grab a Lyrilusc spell or trap. We special summon the Cobalt to special add a level 1 from our deck to our hand, or we special summon the Warbler to go and special summon 1 from our hand or graveyard. What this can do is can help us dodge hand traps like Valor and Imperm by using this, and then we still get another body and we still get the effects of these cards, right? And you could even, tag it out for the exact same card. So it's a good card to kind of do that to get another body on field, and it can even get a body into graveyard, because that will help out our barrel canary, right? So next we have 2 swallows cowrie. This one is a little different. This one can tribute from hand or face up field, right? So it can do kind of the same thing, but this one adds one to our hand instead of special summoning it. I went 2 and 2 just because this one is not once per turn. So I considered doing another one, but I liked, and this one only is once per turn. But the difference is if we've already summoned, right, and we don't have any, we need to get to a different Lyrilusc monster, then we can use this one from our hand. Whereas this one, we specifically already have to have monsters on field, and if for some reason our opponents already cleared those monsters, and now we really need to get into another Lyrilusc monster, this can help us get into that. And then also for engine cards, instant fusion, you'll see in a second, or actually I'll just show you now, it doesn't matter. We have the 1 fusion card because we did have to play 3 different types. I mean, this is a good card anyway. Really the only thing we're worried about is it's a level 1 winged beast Lyrilusc monster. That's the only thing. It's just another monster to get on the board to help us, you know, keep going forward. Nothing else on this card. Once per turn, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent equal to this card's level. So I mean, even so, it's not going to gain the extra because we're not fusion summoning it. We're just using this card. I mean, we're not using multiple material. I think it gains levels or something equal to its fusion material, but we're using this to get it out. So that's another way to cheat it out. 1 for 1, just because we're playing so many level 1s, it's like, why would we not? These are kind of engine cards because they're draw cards. Pot of Desires, we're paying 2 of these. Banish 10, draw 2. You can only use one once per turn. But again, I feel like that is more than good enough to get me into what the cards I need. So these are kind of like our basically like engine, like help us get our monsters onto the field. We have Board Breaker Wise. We'll start out with 2 talents. Consider 3. I like it at 2 of. If I draw it, I draw it. If I, you know, we could even draw it off of Desires. But I didn't want to go too crazy and have 3 and have 1 that's dead in my hand. Next, we're gonna go with 3 Raigeki because, I mean, why not destroy all monsters your opponent controls? One less thing that I have to worry about. We're going 2 Lightning Storm. Again, we're going second, so we're trying to break our opponent's board, right? So even if we draw these 2 together, we go Lightning Storm first. If they have back row, we'll just try to take them out the back row. If they don't, we'll try to take out the monsters. They'll probably try to negate it. Then we have this as follow-up. Same kind of deal with Harpy's Feather Duster, but Harpy's Feather Duster is at 1, so that's obvious. And then we are going to play 3 droplets. Obviously, just more ways to get off monsters. I mean, get monster effects off, and then it plays well with the Cowrie and the Swallow because, you know, we can activate these and then we can chain droplets and then we can send these to the graveyard and get that extra free bonus body. These are proxies, by the way. I have my other ones in another deck at the moment, but those are proxies at the moment in case they look weird. If you guys want to know how I make proxies, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below, and I'll show you guys. We do have 1 Called by the Grave. Just, you know, we're going second, so we don't want to get hit by like a droll or, you know, a well-timed card if we don't have to worry about it. And then this, we have 2 more cards, so that's 38 cards. And then the last one is Life Hack. So this is really our win con. We are playing a 3rd one in the sideboard if I feel like I'm not getting to this card enough. But basically what this card says is target 1 face-up card on the field. Any damage your opponent takes this turn is halved. Also, your opponent's, that monster's attack becomes equal to your opponent's current life points. So if once I use this, what I'm hoping is that my opponent's life points, so it doesn't really matter what they're at, but if they're at, let's say 8,000, right? Whatever monster I targeted, which is going to be my Nightingale, right? Because Nightingale can attack directly up to the amount of material that are attached to it, right? So Nightingale's attack is going to become 8,000, right? And let's say I only need 2 material on this, right? Because I'm going to be doing half damage, but it doesn't matter because I can attack twice with this for 4,000 each and end the game, right? So I'm doing everything else to ensure that there's nothing to stop me from attacking twice with this off of Life Hack. That's why I have the third one, the side deck, because like I want to draw into this card, but I don't know if I want to put it at 3 because then I might draw into 2 and then 1, and then it's just kind of, you can only use each effect once per turn. It also has an effect in the graveyard. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face-up monster on the field. Any damage, it's the same thing, but also that monster's attack becomes equal to my current life points until the end of this turn. So there's nothing stopping me from making 2 Nightingales, right? Both with 2 material, and then making 1 8,000, and then making 1 equal to my life points, and then attacking with both, right? So this card has, can do a lot. This card by itself with Nightingale can end the game as long as I have enough everywhere else to ensure that my opponent can't stop me from attacking for game. But we have the Bird Strike, which is a searchable card to negate all my opponent's monsters, negate all my opponent's monsters here, right? I can rip my hand, take a monster from my opponent that's annoying. I can destroy all my opponent's monsters, destroy all their spells and traps, destroy all their traps, and that's basically, should be enough to get me to the point where I can push for game. All right, so as we were just talking about, we were playing 2 assembled Nightingale. So basically, gains 200 for each material attached to it. That also has a this card can attack directly. While this card has material, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of material it has. And then once per turn, quick effect, I can detach a material for this until the end of this turn. Lyrilusc monsters I control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage. So that can come up as well. So it's just a strong card. It's good going first and second. And it's really my ultimate win con. We're only doing 1 Recital Starling. Basically, this one needs 2+ level 1 monsters, and then you can detach a material to add a level 1. This is really like, I don't even want to go into this unless I have to, and if I do have to, I'm only going to need 1. And then if I do end up having to go first, then I'm probably going to need this. So that's why we're just playing the 1. This is another card, the Ensemble Robin. Just another option to really just play as a 1-of. Promenade Thresh is good because it's also 2+ level 1 monsters, but you can detach a material from this and then target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls and shuffle it into the deck. So this can get rid of a spell or trap card if we have one sitting there that's annoying us, right? Then obviously we talked about the Independent Nightingale to get off of the instant fusion. We have 1 Fucho. It's just a really good card. If we have to go first, we can literally just make this. It's unaffected by their card effects. Sorry, I hit the camera for a second. In the quick effect, you can detach to material for the rest of this turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage involving this card. So literally, it's unaffected by other card effects. And you can also take no battle damage from when I detach the 2 materials. So like, it's just a strong card to make going first. It's good to have those options. Again, because I really only need the Nightingale for going second, so I can put a lot of work into my going first cards. A couple more going first cards. We have the F0 Utopic Future Slash to go into the F0 Utopic Draco Future. We do have a Downward Magician right here. Obviously, we're going to use this if we attack with Nightingale and we can't get enough to get to game. Then we'll go Downward into Zeus, right? And then one more card, just, this card could get us to the point where it's just enough to get us the game, right? We can go into a Superstar Slayer Typhon, and like one option with this card is to go into like a Nightingale, because we need to use the effect, and then we can go into, after we've comboed all the way, we can just go here, Star Slayer Typhon. And if Nightingale isn't enough to push for game, then this could just be that last little push that we need right here. So, because we're not going to need to summon anymore after that. So that Typhon can definitely come up in this deck, especially with it being a go second deck. Right? And then our last 3 cards in the extra deck are just, this is a great card to play in here. Relinquish Enema. Can get a monster off my opponent's board if they, you know, had to put something here, or if they had to put something over in this zone. Like, you can get a monster off the board. Plus, it can get us a level 1 into the graveyard, again, if we need one there, or if it's just going to help us out to have one there. Just to help us, you know, push for game, or break a board if we need to. One Nightmare Unicorn. You could easily have this be a SP Little Knight if you have one, but I don't have an SP Little Knight. So yeah. And then the last card is a Borrelsword Dragon. This could also be a Access Code Talker if you would like, right? But then with that, you would have to then definitely have the Unicorn. You know, and it's an extra level of disruption, but this card I feel like will make it easier to attack for game, right? If we need to go down this road. So that's why I went Borrelsword Dragon instead of the access code. So for the side deck, we are going to go with 2 Lava Golems. I consider 3. I figured 2 would be good enough. We do have a lot of like monster removal already in the deck, and as well as we but I wanted it for like if there was like monsters that were unaffected or couldn't be destroyed or something like that, just another level of disruption. And we don't really need our normal summon, especially with all of the Swallows cards to help us get like different cards into our hands and get cards into the graveyard and whatnot. So we don't really need our normal summon. So this is a good card to have. We're playing 1 Change of Heart and 2 Mind Control. Again, another way just to get monsters off of my opponent's board that could be pesky, as well as these cards can, you know, help me get that little push for game if I need to use my opponent's monsters to attack. Actually, this one, they can't declare an attack, but I can also use whatever I take with this to go into Nightmare Unicorn, right? So that still kind of works out. We do have the 3rd life hack in here. We do have 2 Twin Twisters as an option. Again, it's getting the Lyrilusc monsters into the graveyard isn't always bad for us, and then this just gives us another option to get rid of spell and traps if we're playing like a heavy trap deck or something like that in the back row, and we want to make sure that we have cards to get rid of it that are also quick plays. And it can pop 2 cards, right? Because if they do like an anti-spell or something like anything like a skill drain, something like that, or a 1-for-1, you know, having this can really make sure that we get those cards off the board. And then that is going to be it for our backup going second cards. First one is going to be Lyrilusc Bird Sanctuary. Basically, you can target 2 winged beasts Z's monsters you control, attach one of the monsters to the other, and then transfer its materials to the other. And then if you have a monster with 3, a Z's monster with 3 or more materials attached to it, you can draw 1 card. So this is something that I can trade in for the Bird Strike, the one that negates all monster effects when I'm going first. And then I can search for this if I already have the Bird Call, right? So there's a Bird Sanctuary, the Bird Call, the Bird Strike. The Strike is the one I would sub out for this one, side out. And then also, just as an extra draw card, we have Wing Recital if we're going first. Basically, if you control, if all monsters you control are winged beasts and you control at least 2 with different names, you can pay 600 life points and draw 2. So it's a nice, easy draw 2. We're just playing it a 1-of because it is a 1-of. Now, this is something I consider playing in the main board, but I decided just to side it because I liked the quick play ones better. Where art thou? Basically, if you control a level 1 monster, you can add a level 1 monster from your deck to your hand during the end phase of this turn. If you did not normal summon that monster, you take 2,000 damage. And that's after activating this effect. But I'm not worried about the 2,000 damage. If I take it, it's whatever, right? And then especially if I side this in going second, which is a possibility if I feel like I'm just not getting to my monsters enough, I can easily just side this card in, right? And I don't care about taking the 2,000 damage if I'm going second because I'm just trying to end my opponent. I'm not trying to let them have another turn. So, and even if I'm going first, like losing 2,000 damage is completely fine. I'm not going to be too worried about that. And then the last 3 cards for going first are 3 Solemn Judgments, just to have it. I felt like it couldn't hurt to have some Solemn Judgments in there in case I do need to go first, or if like I'm just playing against a deck where there's just no way, only playing board breakers, I'm going to be able to beat this deck, right? So Solemn Judgment can help me out with that. So 7 cards to help me sub in going first. So that is going to be the deck. I'm going to play this at the next locals that I go to, and I am going to let you guys know how it goes. I'm not currently in the situation to like actually record while I'm playing, but maybe in the future at some point in time I will get to that. But right now I'm just gonna go ahead and play. I'm gonna remember all the games, how everything went. I'm gonna let you guys know. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much.